Hello, friends, and welcome back to Beauty and the Dad Bod, the only podcast you will ever listen to for the rest of your life. Happy Halloween!
Yeah. Well, we're recording on Halloween. It is the next day that they're listening to it, though, unless you're Patreon, and you'll get it on Halloween night, which is like... And you'll get to see us in these amazing balloons.
Yeah, we are living our best life. I've never felt more at home. Look at these little balloon buttholes. It's so exciting.
This Skype thing is a game changer for podcasters. I mean, look at the quality. Like, the quality is incredible. Like if you just move a little bit, half your head disappears. It's kind of nice.
And then I can't wear my witch hat that I found on the floor at a party that we went to on Friday. Well, a party we stopped by. We didn't really go to it.
Chelsea, are you the family in the neighborhood that hands out full-size candy bars? Or are you guys handing out like shit like Kisses and like do you guys have those in the US? We call them Kisses here.
They're nasty. Have Hershey Kisses?
They're not Hershey Kisses. No. I don't know why they're called Kisses. Let me Google it for you real quick. Oh my God, they're disgusting though. Hold on. I don't know what they're made of. So it's molasses candy.
That sounds disgusting. It sounds like candy really made out of tar.
It is exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is. And no one eats them.
Why would you do that?
Because you hate your neighborhood? I don't know. Because every time I got one of those, I egg that house. Or if they give you a toothbrush or an apple. I'm like, are you kidding? Giving apples on Halloween? Are you serious? This is Halloween. Halloween was my favorite thing growing up, obviously because I grew up poor, as you know. And Halloween was an opportunity to get like 18 pounds of candy for free. So you better believe I was out there pounding the pavement. Like, I had 2, 3, 4 pillowcases full of candy at the end of the night. It was like, I burned like 1,000,000 calories. And the distance I traveled to get free candy was enormous. And it's different now. I this year, for the first time ever, I'm handing out full-size candy bars.
Oh, it's made by the same people that make candy corn, by Kerr's.
Well, I actually don't mind candy corn, in small amounts. I can't eat a ton of it, but I don't think there's anything wrong with it.
And you don't eat it at any other time other than Halloween. Otherwise, if you do so,
You should be instituted.
Yeah.
But so what are you handing out this year? Are you handing out candy or no?
Yeah, so typically we don't do that. We just turn off our lights and pretend we're not home. And we'll watch like a Halloween movie or something, just me and him. But also you got to remember, every year for the past 8 years, or especially since we've been in a house, because you don't really like hand out candy at apartments. That's fucking weird. So every time we have had Halloween and living in our home, Tony has always worked the night shift, so I'm not gonna like sit out there and hand out candy. But this year we are. Tony's going to wear his because I mean he's a deputy, so he has the Stetson. You saw it. Yep. So he's gonna wear his cowboy hat, and I'm gonna wear my witch hat that I found on the ground, and we're gonna sit on the front porch and hand out candy. I'm handing it out in a champagne bucket that's shaped like a top hat. I finally have a use for that. We got that for our wedding, and it's from Kate Spade. I've never used it. So yeah, we're doing that. I filled that with a bunch of Twix bars, and we are gonna...
Ooh, I love the Twix. I got me Twix right here. Look at this. Twix right here.
I have 4 bags of those in my kitchen right now. So I already filled it up. I have backup, and Tony gets home at like 6:37ish, so we'll be sitting out there and handing out candy.
That's too late. Kids are going to be out there by 5:30.
Okay, well,
what time is it getting? What time is it what time does it get dark there? Is it same time as here, like around like 6:37 now?
So Tony gets home at like 7 and the sun's still up. Like it's like setting at that time. But it's still
weird.
Isn't it weird? Because we're in the same time zone, but it's where it has to do with also where you are, like how close you are to the equator and stuff.
Equator.
I don't know. Who am I? Neil deGrasse Titan, whatever the fuck his name is?
Titan.
I don't know. What's his name?
Tyson. Sunset in Florida, 6:40 p.m. as of today. Sunset where I am in Toronto, 6:09. You're right. You got 30 minutes more of sunlight than we do.
Yeah.
Plus, that's why it's also hotter in Florida, because you are closer to the equator.
Yes, I do know that for a fact.
I once went to the equator.
It's been so nice, though. You're going to I love it when you come down.
I'm
So
leaving
good.
on Wednesday. I'm excited. I got this little mattress for my Tesla. So when I drive, I don't stay at a hotel because it's so cheap. I'll see. I don't want to get murdered either. So we'll see. On the way down, I have to do so many charging stops, like 7 charging stops. Right? I don't have to pay
Josh,
for. You know how much? What?
What's this mattress like? Is it like a blow-up mattress?
Yes, and it fits
Okay, then-
perfectly in the Tesla.
Great. Well, then how about you just put it in our living room or in my office, and you can just stay at our house.
No, that's okay. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. But I'm excited.
If you're not careful, Tony will put you in the shed.
I'll sleep in the shed. No, I'm going to sleep in a hotel in Florida. I'm not going to sleep in my car. I'm just talking about the drive. So when I pull over, I can get a couple hours of shut eye while I'm charging. So I can get a 2-hour power nap. 2.5-hour power nap. I don't need to sleep for 12 hours. I just need to get a couple power naps on the whole trip. It's a 24-hour drive. I'm excited. Because I'm going to be pulling over, checking out some stops, doing some live streaming. I'm excited. It's going to be dope.
Yeah, I mean, the route you're taking is really good. Just make sure that you don't drive through Atlanta and you drive around Atlanta, because that is a clusterfuck.
Is it like, you mean traffic or murder?
What?
Traffic or murder? Oh, okay. Sorry. Because have you ever driven in Detroit?
No, that is extra shooty. I'm not going to go there.
Don't. Here's a little story for you. My friend and I went to this music festival in Illinois called Cornerstone, Christian Music Festival. It no longer exists. I don't know why. It was the best music festival ever invented, ever. All the good bands, POD, had Under Oath, like just every Christian artist that ever existed played here, okay? Everybody. Yeah. It was amazing. That's where I saw Earthsuit for the first time, who is now Mute Mouth, by the way. Anyway.
I know all these names, definitely.
Yeah, you do. You know DC Talk. Come on.
No, I don't.
You don't know who DC Talk is?
The only name I've ever heard of that you just said is Under Oath.
What about POD? You've heard of POD.
Sure.
You have heard of POD. Oh my God, they were like commercial radio. Okay, anyway. I'm so sad for you, Chelsea. You don't know who DC Talk is. I'm so sad for you.
Well,
you don't know. Oh my God, I'm going to show it to you. I'm going to send you the playlist.
You didn't watch Dragon Balls?
Okay, what would people think if they knew that I'm a Jesus freak? That's DC Talk. You've never heard Jesus Freak?
No, Joshua. While you were doing all of that and listening to that music, I was doing cocaine off of my boyfriend's abs. So, no. I think you forget that we lived very different lives growing up.
That's so funny, Chelsea. I was sitting there hanging out with my youth group, going to Chelsea's partying with like rock stars with big hair. All right. Anyway,
I mean,
it's an era that is, as far as growing up in Christianity, was like, that was a good era. The music was good. Anyway, long story short, my white buddy and I are driving through Detroit in his little Hyundai accent, listening to Christian hip hop. And these guys, it was dumb because we got lost in downtown Detroit. Don't ever get lost as white people downtown Detroit, okay? White boys.
as anyone, really.
As anyone, don't. And these guys pull up in this giant Tahoe or this big giant black, I don't know what it was, Escalade or something, roll down their window and look at us, and they say, "What are you listening to?" We roll up our window, and the highway was right at the next exit. We hopped on the highway and took off. We were like, I don't even know, and I don't even know. That was scary because we don't know anything because we're from Canada, man. We don't have that kind of stuff. And
someone did actually comment the other day about how I am the perfect offset to you, and then another person commented and they were like, "Oh my God, Chelsea, the side of Josh that you bring out is hilarious." And I was like, well,
it is. We do offset each other very well. And that's my story about almost getting killed in Detroit, which they probably just were asking what amazing music it was. And I'm pretty sure it was White Rap. Forget his name, but he did a song. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I don't listen to it anymore. So what are we talking about today?
I actually have a very good question for you. So, one, happy spooky Halloween. And two, okay, so first question. What is your favorite Halloween costume that you have? And you have to send me a picture of it so I can put it on our Instagram.
Okay, I'm going to look for it while I talk to you about it. So I think it was last year's Halloween costume. I went as Fat Thor. So it was an easy costume. I had, what was it? It was I wore like a, let me see if I can have it, but it was basically, I bought the beard, what do we call it, wig? I don't know what it is, fake beard, and then a wig, and then I bought the Thor hammer, which is right here, and it's here, I got it for you.
Do you have Mjolnir or do you have Stormbreaker?
Oh no, it's huge.
You have Mjolnir.
Can you see this?
Yeah.
I don't know if you can see this.
I can see it. The people can now, but yeah, it's beautiful.
Sort of. Anyway, it's huge. And I got the wig, and I got I just bought the pajamas and the overcoat, like the house coat, and I just had my belly hanging out. And this is the time, it was a Halloween before last, because I was playing dodgeball, adult dodgeball, which is the most fun thing ever, and we got to dress up, and I dressed up as Fat Thor, and everybody was like, that's the best costume I've ever seen in my life. And I agreed. So
that's good. I like it.
I'll send it to you. And I was wearing slippers and stuff. It was great. But that's it. I mean, growing up, we had just fake costumes. We didn't have enough money for real costumes, so my mom would often... One of the best costumes from a kid I can remember, creatively and simple, which is like, a lot of people are like, it's super cheap. My parents were just really cheap, right? But it was, my mom just put a box on me, painted it white, and I was a dice. Just a dice. That's
amazing. I love that.
I couldn't put my arms... She put the armholes on the side, so I couldn't put my arms around the front to hold my kid. It was awesome.
That is absolutely beautiful. This year I wasn't, anything. I was supposed to go today and be a inflatable pig. Yeah. And then we had 3 inflatable pig costumes, 3 inflatable cow costumes, but then I wasn't feeling well today, so I was like, I'm sorry guys, I can't go, but here are all the costumes that I spent about like $400 on. Ooh. It's fine, whatever. But last year I was not Cleopatra, what the fuck's her name? Medusa. Yep. And I'll put that costume up as well. That one was I handmade everything. I was just obsessed with it. But my favorite one that I had ever done was probably when I was Macho Man Randy Savage.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And I threw Slim Jims at people all night, and I lost my voice because I kept saying, oh, yeah.
Slim Jim.
It was absolutely beautiful. I, again, handmade my costume. I will never, actually only once, like ever, I have gone and purchased like a actual costume. I'm the type of person that I'm like, okay, I'm going to buy separate pieces, different places. And if I have a prop or something, I'm going to make it. Like my Medusa headpiece, I made that. It took me, I want to say like 4 hours. I hand painted all of the snakes, like the rubber snakes. I had like wire glued to them so I could like mold them and stuff. And it was absolutely amazing. But with this one, y'all will see.
I can't wait.
Yeah, it was right when I started like losing more weight after we got engaged. So it was like a year before our wedding, and I got off of a medication so I could finally lose weight because I had gained a lot from that medication. And everyone had expected me to, like dress in like a sexy costume. Well, trick's on y'all because I won the best dressed female. And my friend was actually supposed to come with me, and she was supposed to be Hulk Hogan. So it would have been a lot less embarrassing if she was there with me, but she ditched me that night. And I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to be a Macho Man Randy Savage. And it was just the best costume I'd ever done. And we were driving on the way to the party, and we passed by like this one area in Tampa, like the Soho area where there's like just all these bars and stuff. And I see just all these like just beautiful, sexy women in their costumes. And I'm like, guys, I'm not gonna lie. I'm feeling a little regretful of this decision of this costume, and everyone started dying laughing. And Tony was like, "No, it's really good."
Nah, yours. That's you know what you smashed the patriarchy. You went above and beyond. You did something outside the norm. Again, anybody can wear a slutty ass costume and show your vag to everybody, and win a prize. But you won based on creativity, and that's what people are looking for. So you know what, Chelsea? You the bomb.
Thanks.
I know you're not feeling well today, so I'm sending you virtual hugs and shit and thoughts and prayers.
Appreciate it very, very much. And we are so excited to have you got empanadas last time.
Yeah,
but this time
they were good too.
Yeah. We're going to have you have a pressed Cuban sandwich. And Tony really wants to take you to La Teresita, which is one of our favorite Cuban restaurants.
I'm in. Okay, you ever seen the movie Chef? Oh, you gotta watch Chef. It's got what's his name from Thor in it, or from Iron Man. The guy who produced Iron Man. What the hell's his name? He's a big actor. He's
oh yes, yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
He is in a movie called Chef, and that's Jon Favreau. He's so funny. Go watch Chef with Tony. You guys will love it. He's a chef that has a big Twitter feud, and he goes on the road. He starts his dream of having a food truck, and he does press Cuban sandwiches. And I'm like, and if you watch it, because I've seen the making of the movie. I don't know why this movie's so good, but I saw the making of it, and he hired a chef to like do the hand shots and stuff of him cooking. Those sandwiches look like boner material. So yes, I'm definitely excited.
If anyone tries to say like, oh, well, the best Cuban sandwiches would be in Miami. No, you clearly don't know what you're talking about. The best Cuban sandwiches are in Tampa, Florida. The best.
Okay, well, I believe you. The best donairs I've ever had are in Burlington, Ontario. Okay, and we have, if you go to the East Coast, there's like Halifax and stuff. That's called King of Donairs. When you guys get here, I'll show you. But the one in Burlington is called Sammy's. Is the best donair you've ever eaten in your entire life, and you will literally die.
I have a question. What is a donair?
So it's a spiced meat that's like put onto this kebab, like it sits on a spit, and it's just like, I don't know, it's like how do you say it? It's almost like bologna, but not. So they crush up all this meat, lamb, and beef.
You're not doing a great job.
It's just the way that they spice. So they crush it up. So it's basically sausaged or something. I don't know, but it's really fine. It's you know what a gyro is? A Greek gyro? So it's like a gyro but different.
It's
got sweet sauce. Yeah, it looks like a gyro. It's got sweet sauce though with little tiny onions and tomatoes, and the sauce is what makes it. But if the meat is well done, the meat is important too. But the sauce is like a very simple sauce. I'm literally drooling right now thinking about it. That's how good this is. Like it's so good.
Yeah, it looks.
So when you get here, I'll take you there. Yeah, it basically is gyro, and I think they are
a gyro.
A gyro.
I don't know.
So, that's. I can't wait to come. I'm very excited. I have gone down to nothing but part time, if that. I'm very excited for my next venture. So I have lots of time to pursue more stuff, and I'm very excited. Although at the same time, I'm kind of half stressed because I still want to make sure I want to do work. I can't not work. That's just been embedded in me since I was 14.
Yeah.
So I got to keep working.
I'm right there with you. I feel ya. Is this the business update corner? Because I think it is.
Yes.
I now have an assistant. I've mentioned it a few times, but like just in comings and goings. And I will never put them in my content. I will never show their face, say their name, anything like that. Obviously, privacy. But they are amazing. And I don't know. I feel like it's in like... They're like still trying to like get to know like me and like how I work and like how I'm comfortable working. And I love that because I'm like, good. Like I need you to be like, Chelsea, let me do this. Like I will research this and then, okay, sure. You can write the script because you want it to sound like you.
Yep.
And I'm like, okay, fine. So just helping with like that stuff and then internal stuff. And it's amazing. And like, yeah, they're part-time, but once like I grow more and more and more, it's going to be a lot more helpful. Because then they could potentially, have their title changing, obviously get a raise to be like the business manager and basically kind of like be my handler, sort of.
That's what I need.
Exactly. That's
handler.
what I try to fucking be for you. Tony said the other day, he was like, babe, he's like, I just saw Josh is like fucking put up a map that he's like driving down. He's like, do you need to wrangle him in? And I'm like, I don't, Tony, maybe. Probably.
I'm like to my wife, I'm like, well, the flights are like $450 one way, and I'm like, it's just a bit much. We don't make that much on Patreon anymore. I don't want to come out of pocket too much. Christmas is coming. I have 4 kids. I'm like, plus I love driving my Tesla, and I want to go see. And people are pretty excited. When I went down to Florida with Tyson last time, just the quick pictures we were taking about going to Target or doing American things.
Yeah, I know, it was hilarious.
So I'm gonna do that myself. So I'm pumped about it. I'm gonna watch all seasons of You. It's good. It's a good segue. What are you watching? Apparently, people think I should watch the series You.
Yes.
So I'm going to start on the way.
So I finished the 3rd season, and it's honestly, it's good because you think like in the 2nd season, and I feel like everyone had this gripe, like halfway through, you're like, okay, same shit. Like we get it. Like same thing that happened last season. And then some other shit happens and you're like, oh my fuck, what? And then
I love that stuff.
And then, kind of the same thing happened for the 3rd season, but it's only like, I think it's only like 1 episode when you're like, oh my God, again? Like, what are you doing? Or no, I think it's like 2 episodes. And then
is it the premise is he's a stalker, right?
Basically, yeah.
I think I saw the first season. I'm pretty sure I saw it. It's the guy from OC. No.
Gossip Girl.
Gossip Girl? That's right. Gossip Girl's good too. But basically, he likes this girl. He gets her as his girlfriend, but then still stalks her. Why would you stalk a girl if she's your girlfriend?
Because he's an obsessive person and he's fucking crazy and he has mommy issues. But it's great. So you should definitely watch it. I've been rewatching New Girl, rewatched Bridgerton. I watched You. What else? I've binge watched a bunch of stuff over the past few weeks because I've been
Outer
actually
Banks?
giving myself.
Outer
No,
Banks.
I will not watch that.
Why?
Because I don't like shows when they're like children. I don't
They're
like
not.
it.
Okay, here it
They're
is.
basically
it's like
kids.
I think you might like it. Do you like it's like a mix of Goonies and National Treasure.
First of all, those are some of my 2 favorite things.
Exactly, which is like I was with you on the children thing, but it's the character development, the friendships they build, like the lives. I think you're gonna like. Give the first 3 episodes on me. Just let me know what you think, because I couldn't stop watching after the first season. I'm like, oh, it gets good. Like it's good, and it's like it's good. They're good actors. They're funny. It's a definitely Goonies vibe for sure, which I love Goonies. Goonies
never say die, so
exactly. And I'm also on the way. I'm going to start watching Invasion on Apple TV because I apparently have a free year of Apple TV on this. That's kind of cool. I didn't know that. And I'm going to watch a 2nd season of Morning Show. And if you haven't seen Morning Show on Apple TV, please go watch it.
I need to watch it.
Very good. Very good. So that's it. That's what I'm watching. And I was going to go see James Bond possibly this week, Tuesday.
Oh, God.
Tuesday.
So good. Tony turned to me and he's like, Are you crying? And I'm like, I just love him so much. Also, he's married to my my like first ever girl crush.
Who? Who's his wife?
Daniel Craig. He's married to Rachel Weisz.
Rachel Weisz is my crush. He's married to Rachel Weisz, that bastard. I was hoping she'd hold out for me.
She was like the first, and someone asked me this the other day. They were like, who was like your first like girl crush when you were like, oh my God, like this is am I gay? And that's what it was. It was it, and then I just kept going, which is funny because she really is like that. That has carried on. That is my type. Someone asked me the other day. They were like, oh, what's like your type when it comes to girls? And I was like, well, all olive skinned, or like at least they have to have like some. Like, what I mean, at least with like Rachel Weisz, it's like like you can tell she can get tan, right? That's the point.
Yep. She is.
She's gorgeous, and then brown hair, and I was like, in blue eyes. I don't think she has blue eyes, but and I was like, oh, and I do love tattoos. And the person goes, so Tony, but a female version. And I was like, oh yeah,
that makes sense.
That's it. Yeah.
Well, when what gave me for me was watching The Mummy. And I'm like, that was Rachel Weisz. I was in forever.
That's what it was for me, too.
The Mummy. Oh, she's still hot. I love Enemy at the Gates. It's a good movie. I like her in anything. Good. She's so good. She's good at anything.
The movie, what was it? My Cousin Rachel. I'll have to find a really good picture of her, and I'll put that on the Instagram, on the carousel as well. But another thing that I wanted to ask you, because I actually saw a TikTok of something that was like problematic Halloween costumes, and it did show a bunch of them that I was like, why the fuck is that a Halloween costume? What the hell? But then it showed a little boy dressed up as Maui from Moana, the demigod. So I was just like, well, okay, like what if he loves that movie? Like, why is that an issue? Obviously, I'm not going to have like now, and I'm not trying to say, oh, back then it was different, because it's like different for her. Like who? Indigenous people have never liked, us dressing up.
Oh, are you saying the Maui costume is offensive to Indigenous culture? Because that's a fake made up culture, is it not?
No.
Is Maui not? He's real?
No.
That's a real culture? I'm looking it up.
It's not. I wouldn't say culture, but it's
demigod.
It's the Maui, an indigenous people of like Pacific Islanders and stuff like that.
Oh, it's Hawaiian. Okay.
You're thinking it's more like you're dressing up as a Disney character. I mean, you are, yes, but it's just like, you know, Pocahontas was a real person.
That's true.
Which the real story of it is so fucked up. Oh my god.
If they made a real video of Pocahontas, they wouldn't be able to put it on TV. It's like it's like slaughter and like rape and everything else. It's crazy.
Absolutely terrifying. Oh, fun fact. My ever since we found my mom's birth mother, we had been going through like genealogy stuff because she like keeps all that shit, and she actually has like documentation that on my mom's side we can trace it back to that tribe and to Pocahontas.
Are you serious?
Yeah,
that's kind of cool.
I was so excited to tell you. I was like, I got some indigenous in me too, which it makes sense with my mom's like texture of like her hair, and same with her mom as well. I'm gonna fuck up how to pronounce it.
Powhatan Tribal Nation, yeah, which is the strongest, included around 30 Algonquin communities located in Tidewater region. So she was one of the biggest ones. Motokoa. And mine, I've been doing a little digging too, just because that's really interesting. After I got 2 DNA tests because I wanted to see if one was going to offset the other, and they both came back almost exclusively, almost identical.
Nice.
As far as my genealogy, as far as being in Uganda, which is crazy, 13% African, which is insane, right? And then the native was Micmac. So my great-great-grandfather was a Micmac tribal chief, and he married a princess.
Holy shit!
It's all in
your mom's side.
On my mom's side. So my mom's dad's grandfather. Dad.
Your
mom's dad's dad. No, okay, mom's dad's grandfather.
Okay, so your mom's great-grandfather.
Yes.
So your great-great-grandfather.
Yes. And it's all the last name is Nash. And so it came through, and it's pretty cool. I mean, not like it mattered back in the day that he was a chief. It's just like it wasn't as in, you know, a chief of his tribe, yes, but it wouldn't be looked at the same today. Chiefs in Canada, if you don't know this, are very, very, very wealthy. They are very, how do I say this? I'm not sure they all are, but they all take advantage of they're all rich and wealthy, while most of the people that live on the reserves don't even have clean water or running water. And some of them own casinos and shit like that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look at all the fucking casinos, the Seminole Casino in Tampa as well. However, I think that everyone should know what stolen land you live on. For instance, in Florida, we are obviously on Seminole land. And I say obviously, like everyone knows that. But... Well, the FSU, it's the Florida Seminoles. And that's actually a lot of people were saying like, oh, well, if the Redskins are going to change their, you know, name to something else, then why don't the Seminoles? And it's like, because that's the
Seminoles
name
not a racist term. Yeah.
No, like that actually is the indigenous thing. And someone, oh my God, it's so crazy when people like don't fucking get shit. They're like, oh, well, look, they have, first of all, the person who was going off about it was on Facebook. This is why I don't fucking go on Facebook. They're like, oh, well, everyone's so triggered. But then look, they have a white guy acting like an Indian. And I said, first of all, dickhead, the term is indigenous person. But then also that person is like their like mascot. The person that rides on the fucking painted horse in like full action, like that person is in the.
That's a historical person. It's not. Whereas Redskins is a term that wasn't racist up until recently. At the same, like, I mean, it was a form of pride for a lot of people. But yes, I get what you're saying. Here, it's Anishinaabe tribe is where I live on. We have to do it I'm on the school board at I'm on the parent council.
Nice, look at you.
And every parent council, we have to read that we recognize the land that we're sitting on. Everybody in school has to do it. Do you have to do that there as well? Oh, that's cool.
Wait,
anyway, I don't really. I'm not.
No, we don't.
We have to recognize it. We have to recognize it. We have to in Canada, just because of the atrocities that the Canadian government did to and Catholic school did to the natives here. So
well, yeah, no, we like I was saying, in Florida, we all fucking know that it's Seminole because like I don't know, I just feel like, and it's obviously different with everyone. And pardon me, correction, it's not a painted horse that he's on. I'm an idiot. It's an Appaloosa. I should have known that. I don't know why I didn't think that. But yes, he's fucking awesome. But like, I feel like all of us know that because of like the Seminoles and like the college team and like I don't know, it's very well known. And I guess we do learn about that. So I went down a rabbit hole while you ooh, money. I mean, I can see it, but they can't. But I went down 2 rabbit holes, and one we're going to talk about in a second. But I literally have like so many links and stuff for show notes already, which is great.
Nice.
Now, regarding the Florida State Seminoles, because I was like, okay, well, why is it okay for them to keep it, but then for the Redskins, obviously not, which Redskins is not a nice term. But then with Seminoles, that's actually the name of the tribe. And so this is some stuff that I never realized. So in 1977, the Florida State University alum Bill Durham introduced the idea of creating not a mascot, but a tribute to the tribe the schools chose as their nickname, the Seminoles. And then Bobby Bowden's wife, who was the coach for years and years and years, helped implement the idea. So Durham actually went to the Seminole tribe of Florida Tribal Council and not only received their blessing on the idea, but then also their help in creating the character, so to speak. So the mascot is Chief Osceola, and they helped him. Basically the entire, like, I don't want to call it a costume, but the entire outfit is completely authentic, and it is made by the women of that tribe, and it's hand sewn by them, which is amazing.
Wow.
Yeah. And the college actually goes and visits quite frequently the reserves in not only that area, but all of Florida and all the Seminole ones, and like recruits kids and gives them, I believe, 80, what I was seeing in this article, which is from fanbuzz.com, gives them like 80% scholarships as well, which is amazing. And so that's more of.
And how old is the team? How old is the team?
I mean, pretty old. So the team's old, way older than that, but the Chief Osceola made his debut in 1978, and he gets you hyped. It's just like in the Auburn football games when the War Eagle flies around the stadium and hopefully doesn't run into glass or something, but it's absolutely amazing. So that's a clear difference in their. Everyone should always know the difference between appreciation, which that truly is, appreciation, and appropriation. So
I'm going to make the argument, though. I'm going to make the argument, and this is what this episode's going to be about, and I'm kind of glad we're here. Yeah. I'm going to make the argument, and I don't think you're going to agree with me. I know we don't agree on everything, but I don't think that appropriation is necessarily a bad thing, depending on the context.
Explain yourself.
So let me look up the definition of appropriation first. The definition of appropriation is the action of taking something for one's own use, typically without the owner's permission. A sum of money, or a sum of money. the act of taking something without permission. And I honestly believe that if we looked up the definition for the word appropriation 3 years ago, it would not have been this definition. They changed the definition of appropriation in the dictionary. So here's my argument, and I could be wrong. Okay. So when I think of appropriation, I think of someone, let's talk about in the real world, native culture, for one, okay? Or let's take, like, example, dreadlocks or braids for your hair, which is a lot of the big one, right? A lot of women get called on Twitter for wearing braids in their hair, and they're saying that's cultural appropriation. Now, let's just leave it there for the sign of the beauty that it is. So when somebody takes a hairdo, for example, that's native to some land somewhere, like dreads, right? And they say that's cultural appropriation. I don't think you're allowed to say that because that was appropriated from somewhere else to begin with too. Plus, the other argument is that it's a form of, like, flattery. It's like, I enjoy this, I think it's beautiful, so I'm going to wear it. They're not wearing it to be racist. They're not wearing it to say, I hate you. They're wearing it to say, I think it's beautiful and I want to look beautiful. That's what I think a lot of is missed in this. I do honestly believe that that's missed in this whole debate. Yeah, I mean, there is a difference. For instance, I had my hair once I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I had 5 braids in my hair, 2 on the side, 1 on the top. And then it looked so fucking sick. And then I had like metal like rings in it. And then on this side there was like some like ribbon in it. And
someone, of course, on Twitter was
Twitter.
like, "Oh my God, you're which, hey, that ain't a fucking real place, all right?"
It's not.
Now
Thank you,
they were
Dave
like,
Chappelle.
"Oh, you're appropriating this," and I'm like, you realize that like I have a fucking Highlander sword in my closet and a kilt, and like I'm Scandinavian and Scottish, and yes, obviously I am a Floridian. Yes, I am an American, and I kind of sometimes get annoyed when people are like, okay, but what are you? And it's like, I'm American. Okay, but my ancestors, and that is my ancestry, and that is, very ingrained in, my family as well. I mean, I'm surprised that my brother is not wearing his kilt for his wedding. At my funeral, there will be bagpipes played. I mean, if the acoustics would have been better, I wanted the bagpipes played at my wedding as well before I walked down the aisle, but it did not work out, unfortunately. But I mean, I've been to my homeland, so I just think that's funny. Now, there are people who, yes, will do things for just a trend, and they will take certain braid styles that are more so like protective styles, and they'll take that and try to do it, and it's just like, girl, what are you doing? Like, our hair is not meant to do that. Like, you should not, like, that's going to like hurt because of the texture of your hair, and a lot of people don't realize that. Like that Woe Vicky girl, she sometimes like, it's like, bitch, I should not be able to see this much of your scalp. And a lot of people don't realize that and obviously I am not speaking for other races, but from what I have learned, because after that I was like, what the fuck are they talking about? And obviously I had heard multiple times, even Spanish girls being like, you can't wear hoop earrings. And I'm like, is this the movie Mean Girls? What are you talking about? Been wearing hoop earrings my entire life. So I think it's important to educate yourself on things. So I started, educating it. And I even asked a lot. I went straight to one of my best friends, Alyssa, who's Black. And I was like, bitch, tell me right now. Like, am I wrong? And she's like, but no. She's like, you look like a goddamn Viking in that picture. Like, no. I was like, oh, okay.
I think again, it always comes back to the midline, centrist person who's generally the majority of the population who don't give a flying rip about any of this stuff. But it's worth the conversation because, again, I understand where a native Indian in Canada says, look, my culture is not your costume. I get that.
Yeah.
Like, I can be there with you, because if the majority of native Canadians are saying, I don't want you wearing our feather stuff, that's like would be like me wearing a hijab, against people who are Muslim, right? That's their culture. That's their religion almost.
Yes.
So I do get that.
Yes. And also not knowing the meaning behind something. So let's say someone is going to dress up as a Scotsman, as, or a fucking Highlander, because obviously that's a little bit different, but they're going to dress up as that for Halloween. And let's say they haven't educated themselves at all. And just by the slim, tiny chance that they're wearing my family's tartan on, like, that's for people who don't know, every family and every clan, not clan with a K, clan with a C, has a different pattern, and a lot of people don't know that. Yep. And so it's called your tartan. So if someone was wearing like my family's tartan, I'd be like, the fuck, what?
Where did you buy that?
Yeah, what's happening?
But I also don't think you'd be pissed about it. I don't think you'd say take it off your culture. I don't think you would be the person that would say that.
No. I'm definitely the type of person who would be like, hey, did you know this? This actually comes from the Campbell clan, and tell them all about the fucking mean sheep that are outside of Campbell Castle. And we got chased. It was fucking hilarious. But yeah, I mean, I would want to educate. And so, but I'm also the type of person, and so is Tony. One thing I love so much about him is that before we, dress up as something, or before, like, even with my Medusa costume, I learned so much shit about her. And I think that's one thing is, for instance, if when we have kids, if my kid wants to dress up as Moana or Maui or fucking anyone, Aladdin or Jasmine, yep, I'm not going to tell them they can't. However, I am going to, obviously they've already watched the movie, but I'm going to make them learn the real story. I'm going to make sure they know every little thing.
The real story Pocahontas. Well, there was a lot of rape and murder and stuff. There's people got their scalps.
Not that much. But I mean, there's a difference between a kid dressing up as a character and then someone like wearing a traditional headdress, or trying to dress up like Maui and, you know, draw the like Tahitian like tattoos and shit, when you don't know what those mean, what they stand for. And so I see that as just more of like ignorance and disrespect. And I think that's a better way to describe cultural appropriation, or just appropriation in general, is like the ignorance. Because I don't think anyone's trying to like hurt another culture's feelings, right? I mean, for instance, if me and Tony were to travel to where the fuck, what's
New York,
like well, no, like Abu Dhabi or something,
yeah.
right? If we were to travel there, or Egypt, I'm let's say Abu Dhabi specifically, I'm going to cover up more. I'm going to respect the, you know, their culture, and the, you know, that I have to be, you know, obviously I'm not going to have like my fucking titties hanging out, right? Or showing any cleavage. Like, I'm going to respect the land, and obviously you get treated a lot better too. And even in like Paris as well, one thing that I noticed, and that I was told from like my family members who had been there before I went, was that, you know, it's more like muted colors. Like, you're not really wearing like bright colors and things like that. So I wore a lot more muted colors. And then also I was like, hey, so I heard that like French people hate us. And they're like, no, it's just like with anywhere, you know, you
disrespect for culture. Yeah,
exactly that. And then also just like loud, obnoxious people who think that you should speak their own language, like English. And they're like, most of them do, but if you just respect it and you learn a few phrases and you really try to speak it, which I did, and I learned a few phrases. Now I can't fucking remember them, but I'll learn them before we go again. But like, the people were so much fucking nicer to me than these other people who were with me. Yeah, I was trying my best, and they like would correct me and help me like with like my accent and stuff, and it was awesome. So it's just,
yeah, it's because you're showing humility. Humility is the biggest point of this whole thing. As a lot of people will say, you know, you're just doing it because it's a costume, you want to wear it at a party. I will get that side of it, but at the same time, we have to consider that the idea that appropriation is not actually stealing something, because the act of stealing something is that you take something from somebody, they no longer have it. Appropriating is different, and that's why it's so nuanced, right? Appropriating is copying, right? It's not, you can't steal. Okay, so you can't steal it's not like they don't, when you wear something like dreads or whatever, it's not like they can't wear dreads too. It's just that they're saying, and again, I think it's definitely victim culture that we live in, and Twitter's not a real place. If Twitter didn't exist, we wouldn't even be having this conversation. I guarantee you.
But also we have to remember that there are people who, like me and you, yes, obviously we're not racist assholes. We appreciate, like, we appreciate different cultures. We love to learn about them. Like, we aren't dickheads, but there are people who will, you know, wear their hair in cornrows, but then they'll also, you know, call a black person gross or ghetto for wearing their hair natural. And that's the difference here.
And I do see that. That's why it's super nuanced, because
it sucks.
Yeah.
And
there are people out there who are doing it without understanding anything. And I do get that. And so when they're called out, what happens is a lot of times people call it out, but the people doing the call outs either they're not educating anybody. They're just like, don't. And they're like, well, why don't you tell them why? Why don't you say, hey, you know, I'd really appreciate if you understood the historical significance of what you're doing here, and here's what it means, and that this is why it's important to understand. That's great, but nobody's willing to have an adult conversation anymore. But it's a really important conversation, and one I have with my children about the idea of like, I love what you said there. You know what? If you want to be Aladdin, if you want to be, probably wouldn't say Pocahontas, because I'm like, let's just stay away from that one. But if they wanted to, I mean, our culture is Native in my family, very, very, up to the point where I have status. I have status. That's how close I am in blood relation to. Yeah,
you're way closer than I am.
So although I probably would, it also wouldn't bother me to see a kid dressed up as Pocahontas or in a Micmac tribe uniform, or whatever. It wouldn't, because I just don't. I'm like, look, I don't think they're making fun of it. I don't think that kids specifically, and that's one of the conversations today is like these costumes that kids are wearing. The kids don't know. And that's one.
No.
That's the other
Correct.
side of that is these costumes I'm seeing on Twitter and everybody else are these moms dressing their kids up. I think I saw one of Biggie and Tupac, which is I love Biggie and Tupac, right? The parents obviously love Biggie and Tupac. These 3-year-olds have no fucking idea who Biggie and Tupac is. And so why are they dressed up as Biggie and Tupac? Halloween is for it's for everybody, but those kids should be able to choose a costume that they want to wear. And that was the other side of this conversation, was that I've seen kids dressed up as like very adult things that the kids have no idea because they're on display for their parents. They're trophies for their parents.
Yeah, I've so there's two things here. So if it's like literally like a fucking 1-year-old, okay, you're gonna put them in a costume. They're
Sure,
basically
I
still a
get
potato.
that. I get that.
But then also there are, and I know families who have done this too. So before like the parents go to their party, they'll have their kid. They'll dress up their kid as like the group costume, and then it's literally like just for a picture. And I think a lot of people don't understand that. But then when they go trick-or-treating and stuff, then like their kid will have another costume.
But what's the point of that? Why? For what? To what? For Instagram likes?
I mean, I'm gonna do that when
I feel like
I'm very into like the costume.
I suppose
shit,
it's
if
about
my kid doesn't want to do it, then fine. Then they won't be a part of it. It's fine. They can do whatever the fuck they want. But me and Tony take Halloween way too seriously. That's why everyone was so surprised that we did not dress up this year. I mean, shit. Sometimes Tony goes rogue. I mean, I was Cruella 2 years ago. I bought a fucking vintage fur coat for that.
Not made of Dalmatians, I hope.
No, it's fox fur. And it's so beautiful. I actually just moved it to cold storage, actually.
It's just warm, I bet. But you don't need that in Florida. Why do you have a fur coat in Florida?
Because I'm fabulous. It was literally just for the costume. No,
okay.
I have another one. It was my the other one was my grandmother's. I will probably never actually buy real fur for myself, but hey, I'm not gonna turn it away. Especially if it was like my fucking grandmother's, then fuck yeah, I'm gonna wear it too. But cue everyone being like, you can't care about your dog if you wear fur. Bitch,
PETA intensifies.
Do you have a leather couch? Then get away from me.
Do you have a car with rubber tires or shoes at all? Do you have anything?
Use glue?
Do you eat food? Do you partake in any food whatsoever? Because even vegans can never truly be vegan, and here's why. Do you know how many animals are killed in combines per year? Lots.
What's a combine?
That's what harvests the damn soy that you eat in your burger.
The big thing.
Yeah, it's a combine. It's a farm machine. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I mean, if you really want to get to semantics of it all, nobody can be true. So this whole conversation is about stop effing getting in other people's business. Let's go back to being regular people. That's what I'm arguing for.
Hey, I don't know if you remember this, but our entire YouTube channels are about being in other people's business.
Don't judge me for that. That's because we have you know what? You're right. You're absolutely effing right, though. You're absolutely right. But I think, though, there's a moral difference, I think, than saying, I don't know, maybe not. Maybe there's no moral difference. The people who really love animals, and I get all the time, for some reason the other day, somebody commented something about killing animals to eat beef or something. And I'm like, where was that in this video to begin with? I have no idea. Maybe I said something about meat, and they took that opportunity to say,
Ugh.
I hate you because you eat meat. And people do viscerally hate the way that meat is harvested and stuff like that. And I get that. And so maybe you're right. Maybe you're right. Everybody's got a point to some degree, but I'm not going to stop.
But guess what? Cheeseburgers are delicious.
Damn right there.
Oh, shit. Oh, God, Josh. I don't know if you saw on Instagram last night, but I was taken to a very fancy dinner.
I saw that, and I was going to comment on it's like one bite. How much did that cost?
So I did not pay for it, but my friend, I have to be as vague as possible. My friend took a bunch of us and invited a bunch of us, and it was so much fun. The restaurant's called Koya, I believe, and it's in Tampa, and I had heard about it from two of my friends who were there last night with us, and you walk in, and it's like the restaurant can only seat 8 people.
Oh.
It takes months. It's so fucking cool. And then it takes like months to be able to even go there. I think there's like one chef or two in the back, but then it's this husband and wife who own it, and they like tell you about everything. And the Wagyu is what you saw with the white truffle on top of it.
Yes. Woo.
Oh my God. It was so fucking good. And I think on the picture I posted, it showed the menu as well, but apparently it's like $1,000 per person on average.
That's silly.
Yeah.
That is silly.
I mean, it makes sense though with the food because
Japanese Wagyu, right? Not like some shitty American Wagyu.
No, it was top of the line. But also the whatchamacallit, the like white truffle, like he was explaining, he was like, oh, and just so you know, like with this kind of white truffle, he was like, apparently he didn't say it's going out of season, but like it's getting harder and harder to get it. So he was like, I'm pretty sure like y'all won't be able to have that for like another 2 years. So he's like, so I'm just gonna grind a lot of it on there.
That shit's expensive.
It was
that truffle can be like, I think it was 400.
Yeah.
The guy showed me some black truffle, some video I did a little while ago, and he's like, this one I'm holding in my hand, and it was the size of like, I don't even know what the size of, like, wasn't very big. And he was like, this is $400. It's more expensive than gold.
And this was white truffle. And then tuna, the tuna had been, one fish had been auctioned off for, I believe, like $1 million. One tuna. Yeah, and he said that it's just so fascinating, like how he was explaining it. He was like, yeah, you know, not only the presentation, the food, but then like the ambiance and stuff, like, and just how they were explaining everything was fucking fascinating. He was saying that in everything that we were all eating the same fish, which was really fucking cool too. But he was saying that where it comes from and why it's so expensive is because the area that it's caught, or the area where like the fish fucking lives, I don't know what fish do. He said that the current goes like 3 different ways, and I was like, what does that mean? I'm like, that's like an underwater tornado. Like what? I was just like, this is fucking fascinating. The scallop was so good. Oh my God, Josh, it was so good.
I saw it all. I'm like, yeah, obviously you're getting like 5 courses and dessert and everything else. And so I appreciate that now more that I've lost the weight and I can't eat very much anyway. So when I was a fat bastard, I absolutely would have been like, this is stupid. I won't eat as much as. Now I'm like, I appreciate good food in small amounts. And I actually appreciate that more. It looked amazing. So it sounds like it's a one-in-a-lifetime opportunity. And that's something that's amazing.
Well, and that's why when I got invited, I called Tony and he was on his way home and I was like, babe, I know I was going to make dinner, but they just texted me and asked me to meet them at Koya. And I could tell he got kind of annoyed because I went out with them last night too. And he goes, do whatever you want. And I could, y'all know if you say that in that tone, it's like, fine, whatever. And so then I was like, nope, okay, I'm not going. I love you. I'll see you when you get home. And then he called me back and he goes, wait a minute. That's the place that only sits like 9 people, right? And I was like, yeah. And he goes, then you better go because he was like, because I'm sure as fuck never going to take you there. So you better go. And he was like, just don't stay out. He's like, you don't feel good today. Just don't stay out too late. And I was like, I won't.
It sounds like it was really good and you probably won't ever be there again. So.
Oh, when you come down, make sure you bring a nicer outfit because me and Tony would like to treat you to, not a fucking Wagyu steak dinner, but we would like to treat you to our favorite restaurant, Eddie V's.
Oh, I'm down. I'll bring something nice. I'm bringing a frunk full, because I have a Tesla, a frunk full of treats and peanut butter and shit like that for people. Because a lot of pregnant ladies in my chat want, I promised the pregnant ladies that I would give them some Kraft peanut butter. So I have to bring a whole ton of shit down with me. And then when I get there, live on the air, I'm going to show you all dressed chips. All dressed, sour cream and bacon. I'm bringing all the Canadian. You're going to have it all.
Josh,
Maple.
I just looked in the chat and I didn't realize that you had sent me the Fat Thor picture.
Right?
Oh my God, that's going to be the background on my phone.
Oh, that's awesome.
I have to send that to Tony. Also, I know you wanted to. So when you were talking about the kids dressing up, you were talking more about like characters that they don't know who it is or anything like that. Yep. I had actually looked up parents dressing their kids up
in adult costumes.
yeah, so it's actually, let me screenshot this because I'll include this as well.
Yeah.
The most offensive Halloween costumes according to parents. 1, Holocaust-related costumes, i.e., dressing up. So dressing up as Anne Frank.
Yeah, don't do that. Okay, that's not cultural appropriation. That's inappropriate. Don't do that.
Well, but also some people are like, oh, well, what if like you're doing. So in a lot of schools, and we did this too, you'll have like it's called like a character assignment, and you have to like dress up as that person and do like you're writing like a book, not a book, you're writing a report like on their life. Like I did Princess Diana, and so I dressed up in like a fucking like princess costume, and I had like pearls and shit. It's the best I could do. Because I told my mom, I was like, I want to wear like this, I said that I wanted to wear the revenge dress. A lot of people know what that is.
I know the revenge.
Black one. The black one, yeah. And my dad said, he was like, how funny would it be if we had her just dress in like the bike shorts, the Adidas tennis shoes, and like the pullover like sweater, like the sweatshirt.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh yeah, that's cool too. And my mom was like, no, I'm not doing anything else. Both your ideas suck. It's going to be easy. You're just going to be a princess, okay? I was like, oh, okay. So that was number 1. Number 2 is anything blackface.
Yeah, don't ever. Yes, That's, again, not cultural appropriation, but absolutely, utterly, and bollocksly racist. That's just don't do it.
Yeah, and if you don't know, and most people are like, yes, obviously, like that is offensive, but a lot of people don't know the horrificness behind and the really oppression, and how blackface is really just a symbol of not only you being an asshole, but of oppression in general, because Black people weren't even allowed to be in like theater or play themselves,
to act
right?
The characters that were black. Literally, they have a black character who might have been historical, whatever, could not even play a black person could be played by a black person because that's how racist
because
the world
they were
was.
black. Yeah.
Insane.
Crazy.
Insane.
Sucks. Yeah. So that's a little synopsis of that. Let's see. Anything with the Confederate flag.
Yeah, that's just unless you got a Dukes of Hazzard car.
Yeah, that's a little bit different.
But no, people are saying.
But also you can have that car without that on it. Transphobic costumes.
What is a transphobic costume?
Dressing up as Caitlyn Jenner or dressing up as I'd say dressing up as a drag queen. However, I would say that if you are paying homage to like a specific one, like a specific character, but then again, think about it. At that point, you like have studied her, like, her sayings, like that's different than some random person.
Drag isn't trans. Am I correct with that?
No, I know. It could be.
Oh, okay.
There are some.
I thought that calling someone trans drag is offensive.
Someone
is trans and you're like, that's just drag. That's offensive, is it not?
That is offensive.
Okay.
Yeah, because that's two different things.
Yeah. Okay.
Drag is more of an art form.
So we're not saying don't dress up as drag. We're saying don't dress up as transphobic. Anything trans related.
Yes. And so for instance, the example is a guy dressing up as Caitlyn Jenner.
Right. That makes sense.
That's fucked up. Don't do that.
Those
are the types of guys who are like, look at how funny I am. It's like, where's the joke?
Yeah, that's a frat kid whose dad's a lawyer. He wears penny loafers.
Like, I don't need to see your fucking pubes. That's all, just a whole lot of bush. First of all, you didn't even like prep for this costume. Come on. And then pandemic related costumes, wearing a hazmat suit, things like that. So the thing is that last year, last year I feel like that, whatever, kind of funny because it's like, this sucks, we're all in it. But then this year, now with the fucking Delta variant and shit, now I feel like that's kind of, I don't find that as obnoxious. Or offensive. I just find it like, okay.
Yeah, like I'm like it's an over type of thing. I don't like. Again, this whole year, and all these kids who are going to dress up in Squid Games costumes. Why are you watching Squid Games? First of all, that shit is not for kids under the age of 16, as far as I'm concerned. My 15-year-old, I allow him to watch it. That's it. Nobody else in this family can watch that.
Well, and also like how mature the kid is as well.
Yeah.
I mean, your kid is very, very.
Depends. Well, in what context? Sometimes.
That's why I stopped and I didn't say mature. So yeah, he's subjected and exposed to things.
Yes.
That's it.
Yeah.
And then portrayals of cultural stereotypes, dressing up as a immigrant or like a fucking labor. I don't know. I
know what you're talking about. That's like Pocahontas. That's going to be dressing up as like, again, in costumes that have been offensive for years. But there's also people out there throwing out like things not to dress your kids as, and they're going too far. Again, the fringes are like, don't dress up as superheroes.
Bitch, the fuck? What?
I know.
I'm gonna dress up as a super. What?
I know. They're like, well, that's because it may, they don't want to perpetuate the stereotypes of that. Again, people will go too far. So basically, want to cancel Halloween now. Here's the thing about the fringes: they want to cancel anything with joy, and I'm over it. I'm over this shit.
Wait, hold on.
Let me see if I can find the article.
This gets worse. So, costumes depicting controversial figures, Adolf Hitler. Who the fuck is going to dress up as Hitler? And then it says Donald Trump, which I don't know. I feel like that's kind of funny.
It is funny. I mean, Twitter would love it. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, like who the fuck cares about that? But also, like, not fucking Hitler. And then number 8, overtly sexual costumes. You can't be a sexy nurse. And then, I don't want to say you can't, but it is offensive to dress up as a sexy nurse or a sexy cop. Excuse me.
Nurses are hot. I don't care what you say.
If it is, and also, you are not going to tell me what I am going to dress up as in terms of how much skin I'm showing or how sexy it is. Listen, bitch, one year, this is the only year that I actually ever wore like a store-bought, I should say that from now on, store-bought costume.
Yeah.
And we, as a group, we went as Princess Leia and Han Solo, but their costumes were the ones from what's the Ewok planet? It's not Tatooine.
I don't know. It is Tatooine, isn't it?
It is?
I don't know. I don't watch Star Wars.
Okay, well, that sounds good. Someone will murder me and correct me. So it was those costumes. And then Tony was Darth Vader and I was a stormtrooper. I told Tony, I was like, I'm just going to go get a fucking like skin tight bodysuit and a helmet and I'm going to look hot as fuck. And I did. And then Tony was like, okay, found mine. His was a pajama onesie. And I was like, you know what? It's fine. I was like, you're comfortable. I don't care. This works. But if someone was like, your costume is offensive, I'd be like, then don't fucking look at my body. And why are you over sexualizing it then? Like, sorry that my body is attractive and that you can't control your horniness. How about you just shut the fuck up and go wear a potato sack and go over there? Thank you. Sorry, that pisses me off. As an attractive female with large breasts, I cannot help it. These babies are bigging in my face. So number 9, homeless person costume.
Yeah, don't do that.
The fuck? Who's dressing up as a homeless person?
I don't. Again, these are costumes we had when we were young. I think in the 80s, 90s, like this, anything was on the table, right? You just did whatever you zombie, homeless person, girl, whatever. It wasn't a big deal. Again, they're just saying nobody's doing that. The issue is that you're right on the button, Chelsea. Nobody does it. Who's doing that?
I mean, there's
masse that you need to have an article written about it.
Definitely people.
Sure, but
there's probably yeah.
It's stupid.
The first column, like that's like Holocaust, blackface, Confederate flag, transphobic, pandemic related. Like I can understand those, and then also the cultural appropriation ones. But then like obviously Hitler, don't fucking dress up as a Nazi.
Yeah, don't do that.
Donald Trump, then sexy costumes, homeless people. Actually, yeah, homeless people is offensive. And then religious costumes.
Yeah, well,
go ahead. Really
go ahead with religious ones. Yeah, go ahead.
I was about to say, listen, I'm not Catholic, but I don't care if you dress up as a nun. Well, then Chelsea, you can't really be offended because it's not.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, I love Jesus. I don't care if. Listen, if you want to dress up as Jesus, go for it. If you want to dress up as God, go for it. If you want to dress up as the flying spaghetti monster, you better bring a bucket of spaghetti with you so I can eat it. But yeah, shit's weird, dude. I don't know.
Again, Halloween and Christmas and everything else is always an opportunity for everybody to argue about shit. Can we just stop arguing about shit and just move on? Again, ignore Twitter. Ignore Twitter.
I hate Twitter. But
All right, we gotta wrap this shit up, man. It's going. This is like nostalgia mode. I can't wait to get into Christmas.
I know.
We're gonna do
I know, I'm
4.
so excited.
We're gonna do 4 leading up to Christmas, and I can't wait for the music, the magic. Oh my gosh, we're gonna do lives. It's gonna be so good. I'm gonna wrap presents on camera like I did last year, and I'm really bad at it, and people make fun of me, but I do it anyway because I love it.
Oh God, it's gonna make me nervous. All right, well let's
shit up.
sign it off then. So we thank y'all for listening. That is it for today. If you are a Patreon member, we appreciate you so much. Obviously, we appreciate everyone that listens, everyone who shares. But if you're a Patreon member, you get to see us, see our beautiful faces, look at it. Yeah, look at those big foreheads. They look
Mine's
so
shiny.
good. Mine is also shiny because I do great skincare. Yeah, it looks great. Your head looks fabulous. So yeah, we love you all a lot. We appreciate you. The next episode will be in person, right? Or no?
Yeah, we're gonna do a live this coming Friday. Sorry, a live this coming Saturday at Chelsea's house. We're gonna be. I'm bringing the guitar. We're gonna be making emojis. We're gonna be answering questions. We're gonna be playing music. We're gonna be designing the shirt, and I'm excited.
Yeah, and the weather has been amazing. So I hope that stays that way. It feels amazing here. So I'm very excited for you to come and see your fat forehead in person again.
And my creepy makeup baby. I miss her.
Oh, she's under my desk. I had to keep her away from Wiggum. He keeps trying to like make a baby with her, which is terrifying. So we appreciate y'all so much. Put in the comments below what costumes you think are truly the worst and offensive, and then also what is the best costume or your personal favorite costume that you have ever done. Feel free to post your own pictures of those on the Reddit page, and Josh and I will take a vote, and we will tell you who our favorite is.
And whoever wins wins something. I'll send you something.
Oh, Jesus. You will win ketchup chips.
Yes.
That's more doable. So follow us on Reddit. Please do. We like to have a conversation with you over there. If you would like to join the Patreon, do so. We love talking to y'all over there as well. Instagram, we'll post a carousel. Been trying to be more active on there. Sorry. We both have a lot going on. And Twitter too, and all the places. And we will see y'all next time.
Bye.